This is the problem with relying on hypnotic audios and follow-ups after the session for your clients' transformations. So I've been asked this question: how is it that advanced conversational hypnosis sessions can create the change without giving clients homework, without giving clients hypnotic recordings, and without kind of giving clients a lot of support after the session, okay? And the reason your client has experienced the change is not because of the recordings, it's not because of the follow-ups, is because of the therapy and therapeutical trances that enabled the client's subconscious mind to change. Is because during the conversation, during the conversational hypnosis session, we have convinced the subconscious mind that the change is gonna be good for them. We have found the unconscious payoff, and the payoff doesn't make sense anymore because we have negotiated with their subconscious that the change is going to be better for them than the status quo, okay? And the problem with recordings is that after the session, we have this time period that we call processing. And it's not just, it is processing, is when your client's subconscious mind is processing everything that's been kind of uncovered during the session. So it's almost like the therapy and therapeutic impacts are continuing after the session. And what, I want to ask the question, what do the hypnotic audios do? What do they say? They say if someone comes with anxiety, the hypnotic audio would be like, all right, so you are calm, you are now, able to do XYZ without anxiety, etc. They are created around the symptom, okay? And the problem is not the symptom. As we know, the problem is subconscious. Normally, when a client comes in to the session, you don't even know what the real problem is. They just say that they're feeling anxious, but we don't know what the actual problem is. And after the session, while the processing is happening, the hypnotic audio can actually interrupt that processing. So it's not even a question, right? Like, how is it that we get results without the audios? The question is like, do you even need the audios for this result? Because you don't. You don't need the audios to deliver results for your clients. Because another thing what you're kind of presetting into the client's mind is that the change needs to happen during some sort of a 3 months or whatever time. And it's like almost you give this recording, making them doubt whether they've actually even experienced that change in the session. And when you say like, all right, so we're going to have like these, weekly get-togethers and, we're going to make you non-smoker in 3 months. But this is not how subconscious mind works. Subconscious mind works very individually for every person. And by saying it's going to be 3 months, you're actually almost limiting that person in the perception that is going to take them 3 months, when in actuality, it could just be one session and they're non-smoker from after the session. And I have like a very recent example where I was working with someone who is who came to me for overthinking, and they said to me, all right, so is this gonna be like, how long do you think it's gonna take me to stop overthinking. I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, I've been listening to these therapists online, and they've been telling that, it's going to take you a year to actually, kind of like overcome this problem and not overthink anymore. And I'm like, wow, that's that's quite a process that she's had in her head, as it was limiting her, because what if the overthinking would otherwise stop in like a couple of weeks after a session, after the processing has been done? So she's now limiting herself, thinking, all right, this is gonna happen only very, very slowly and only after 1 year, because that's what she heard somewhere. So the question is, if you have to keep checking in on your client, if you have to keep giving them recordings for, a couple of months, whatever, did the change even happen in the session? And my answer is that if your client came to you and you have delivered a therapeutical session where they have experienced real subconscious shifts, it's not even that whether they are going to need or not need hypnotic audio. It's actually the hypnotic audio might interrupt the processing. And by keeping checking in on them constantly, how are you feeling, how is this, how is that, how is that, how is that, you're kind of putting in the doubt whether you yourself actually believe if the change has happened. And I know it's really hard to get your head around this, because what I'm saying is complete opposite from everyone else. But if you felt that a part of it resonated with you, and if you felt like actually she makes sense, I'm inviting you to just go into my bio, especially if you're on Insta, book a call, and I can tell you everything, how we do it, what's happening in my training, how the sessions work. Obviously, I won't be able to teach you during the 30-minute call, but I can definitely show you how it is different and how it works with advanced conversational hypnosis.